I got a strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 glory, yeah, I'm fresh out the shop. Let's talk rolling. I'm an expert on the lane. Yeah, smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cup for the right vibe. I got the answers. You going live with Bowtie.
Yo, what's going on, people? Look, you already. Hey, what's going on, peeps, man? I hope everyone had a great Wednesday. Happy hump day, man. Be blessed, be thankful we still here. We breathing air, and the COVID haven't got to us yet, man. Continue to do what you've been doing. Take care of yourself. That's all I can really tell you. You can't worry about other people out there in the world. You just got to worry about yourself first. Man, tonight's guest, man, I don't know where it came from, but I heard this dude been digging in Kenny's pockets for I don't know how long now. But Kenny, I know you know who this guy is. Kenny, and I know you on here because I see you already commented. So I heard this dude been digging deep for about a year and a half. But hey, I'm just a guy from California. I don't know what goes on out there in the deep. But I'm going to bring my boy to the screen so he can tell that story and keep, because I know he ain't going to lie to me, Ken. So I'm going to bring my boy here, man, Mr. Lonnie Jones, to the screen.
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed, bro. How you feeling?
I'm blessed too, man. Just trying to stay afloat through all of this, man. Trying to keep my head up and stay positive through all of this. And you talking about my main man, KR? KR, if you can hear me, man, you down a few. So whenever you can get on the lanes, I can take you on that other side too.
I'm just saying, I'm looking at this post right here. Tell that bum I still get a pick. Anytime, you know where to find me. If you can get away, you know where to find me. I'll be waiting. And when we done, I can make it rain back on you. Hey, all I heard was he said bowl today and you didn't show up. You couldn't get your balls up.
That was a couple days ago, but that was his excuse. Couldn't get his balls out the garage. I'm going to stop by anyway. Never called, never showed. Man, he run, man. He a runner. He run from his problems. He run from his problems instead of confronting his problems. But I'm here to tell you, KR, I'm here waiting on you, bro.
Look at this. Look.
Man. I see GG3 commented on there. I'm going to catch him too. He done moved away from the city, but I'm going to be ready for him. I'm going to be ready for GG3 too. We're going to get a pair too. That's my guy too. We're going to get a pair too. They don't believe what I can do on that left side yet. They ain't seen me in person. But I'm pretty deadly over there, man. I'm pretty good. I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't.
I've seen the videos. And it looks damn good.
Oh, the swing is good. The timing is good. Man, I got a whole new hand, no broken bones. I got a whole new knee, no torn ligaments in there. You know what I'm saying? Whole new wrist. Everything feels good right now. I'm like a new person right now. I'm enjoying the game again. It's fun. I'm learning. And I can't wait to get out there, man. I'm having so much fun doing it, and I'm pain free. So I'll be waiting on KR.
Dude, look. He ready.
Whenever. You know where to find me. You ain't too far away. Whenever.
Man. Yo, Godchild said, so he go off
I will. I'll come by there. And I'm waiting on him too. About 13 years from now, I'm going to be beating his brains in too still. On the lanes and on the court. I'm waiting for him to get a little bit older. And I'm going to continue the legacy of beating up on the Rogers family.
Wow. Hey, Ken, I think you should just get show right now. Just exit the stage left.
KR's my guy, man. I love him. That's my brother, man. I love him, man. He's the best man in my wedding. He's been my guy, man, forever. But he's still gonna be down. He's still gonna be down. I don't mind taking his money. He's still gonna be down. Ain't no love lost on the lane.
Hey, what is it that keeps you coming back to the sport?
I really think it's the friendships, man. Just being, it's like a peaceful place. Being around people that you enjoy to be around. The competition part of it is another big thing for me. I love to compete. I love to win. Even when I don't win, I enjoy the competition. I enjoy the big moments, having a strike when you need it. The gambling part of it, man. It's like being in your peace place, man. So, for me, that's what brings me back to it. I get frustrated here and there, and I need some time off because I'm a busy guy. I'm running 2 shops, and I work full time as a behavior specialist at a school. This is my school here, Loris Academy, so shout out to them.
Okay.
But yeah, I enjoy the people, man, and that's the one thing I miss about this whole situation we're in right now, is just not being able to be around the people that you care about and the people that you have fun with and that you want to be around. So I'm hoping that we can get through this as fast as possible, so that we can be around our friends again and enjoy what we love so much.
Hey, real talk. Man. Like, it's the relationship, man. Like John Lee said yesterday. It's all about the relationship.
That's what it's all about, man. I've got lifelong friends through sports, not only through bowling, but through basketball, man. I mean, business partners, business associates, man, you know what I'm saying? And lifelong friends, man, through sport of bowling. So, it really means a lot to me. And I think the bowling scene in Detroit is just so different than anywhere else. If nobody's ever experienced it, man, there's a lot of things that go on in Detroit bowling centers that don't go on anywhere else. So you build some really tight bonds with people through some of the stuff that you go through growing up in the city.
Oh, absolutely. I experienced that when they had late night tournament, whatever it was, music blasting. Man.
Yeah. Well, even the scene, just look, the gambling scene, man, let me tell you something, man. I can't tell you how much money used to float around in our leagues and tournaments back, 15, 20 years ago, man. But I'm talking about a lot of money. 8, 10 bands in one game. You know what I'm saying? And that's how much we used to play for. So, it's a real different experience, when you bowling for $8,000 a game than you are going out bowling for fun. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Man, and like I said, I know good people that tell me stories. The money that's out there. Or it used to be.
It used to be a lot. It's drying up a little bit, man. The game is losing some participants. Yeah. It's becoming expensive, man. You need a really good arsenal. You not only need to be good, you need an arsenal of equipment, and you need backing, to be successful, man. So you need the financial support. You need the sponsorship from the ball companies. You need to be able to get bowling balls whichever way you can. Back in the day, you didn't need to have 10 bowling balls, 15 bowling balls, 20 bowling balls to be successful. You could go around with 3, and when I first met Ronnie, Ronnie was going around the country with 5 balls, man. He going around the whole country with 5 bowling balls, man. So, you didn't have to have a big arsenal of equipment to be really good. But as they started changing all the patterns and coming up with new patterns and then different volumes of oils and different lane surfaces, and how they broke down, you need to have a ton of equipment, man. And you got to know what each ball does and when to use it. So, and if you're behind the 8 ball, you're not going to make no money. I don't care how good you are, how well you throw it.
There you go. Hey, DP, what was the most bowling accomplishment?
Man, that's really hard to really break that one down. I've had so many. I would say winning 50 grand in Vegas in 2010 was a really huge accomplishment for me. I think my most memorable is being the first Black captain of the Detroit City team. So I did that in 1998. I broke the records in the state tournament for all events, and was the first Black captain of the city team. And then last year I did it for a second time, and I was captain of the city team again. So, I think those are my biggest accomplishments, especially as tough as Detroit is, do that twice is a very, very big accomplishment.
Okay, there you go. Let's see. About the action.
How long? I first joined the PBA, so I cashed in my first national in 1995, and I joined my first year in 1998. So I joined in '98. I bowled for 2 years. Got into a really bad car accident. As I was rehabbing, decided I wanted to go play basketball again. Went back to school, played basketball for 3 years on a full scholarship, and then came back to bowling again. And then I joined again in 2017. So I joined again in 2017. Had a really good year. I think I was top 10 and a lot of money, points, cashes. Last year was probably my worst year in a long time. As I changed staffs, I was just overloaded, man. You know, working 80 hours, 80, 90 hours a week, getting up Saturday morning, 4 o'clock to go drive to a tournament with no rest. You know, it just took its toll on me. So, you know, I really I want to slow down this year and then just pick and choose where I bowl and not try to do too much.
Okay. Dude, that's Kenny Rogers said, tell him about the action field after league.
Oh my God, man. That was my first real experience bowling for some good money. So we used to jackpot in Southfield at Plum Hollow a lot, you know, 5, 10 a game. And we would start about 10 o'clock. We get done there about 12, about midnight. Then you roll over to Southfield Bowl. Now, Southfield Bowl was a dungeon. So imagine the roof leaking about every 4 or 5 lanes. Imagine old beat up wood lanes that hadn't been taken care of. The owner hand oiled the lanes and 10 and out was out of bounds with long ball return. So imagine all of that. And you bowling after league. So this is after the league hit bowl. That's when you start your action. So imagine on that right lane where you had to play and how you had to play that. Long ball returns, after league, 10 and out of bounds. And we would start off at 50 a man the first game, and it probably got up to 200 a man by the end of the day. Crossing 6 lanes.
Wow.
Some of the best action you'd ever see, man. A lot of the tour guys would come in, you know, because they heard about the action, and they really struggled on it because you just couldn't stay down and post your shots on the right lane. You had to have a little trick. So my little trick was, you know, I would throw a full roller, and I kicked the ball return. I actually knocked one of them down one time. Well, not intentionally, but I would kick the ball return to get a little extra leverage. You know, and I got really long arms, so I could loft the ball and keep it in front of me. So that was my little trick, you know, there. But everybody developed some kind of trick to be able to bowl in that house. We had a guy that just passed away recently, Cat, and his name was Cat. And I remember the first time bowling action against him one-on-one, and anything goes. So I throw my first shot, I strike. He gets up, throws his first shot. He walks all the way down to the arrows and throws his ball. And I go, what in the hell you doing, bro? He's like, bro, anything goes, all this action. We do anything we want. I walk all the way down to the lane. So I'm like, you ain't gonna walk all the way down the lane on my money. So I took my money up a little bit. He did that to quite a few people.
Really?
He walked down to the arrows and throw his shot. Yes, sir.
Wow.
Somebody said I need to stay right-handed. Nah, I'm gonna try this out. So this is not just an experiment. This is something that I'm actually taking pretty serious, and I've been putting in some work left-handed. So Frankie, I'm actually gonna do it for real, man. I think there's a lot of pluses to it. It's gonna take a while, but I'm willing to be patient. You know, we don't even know if we're gonna have leagues this year. So, you know, this is a perfect time to do it. If I'm gonna do it, I can always go back right-handed. You know, so I want to see how far I want to see how far I can go with this. I throw it pretty good, man. I went and practiced today. We practiced 8 games. My low game was 216. My high game was 258. Like, I throw it really good on the left side. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we'll see how far it goes, man. If it doesn't go well and I don't get better, you know, at the timeline I want to get better, then I'll scrap it, go back to the right side.
Uh-oh. What about the time you threw me in at City Curtain?
KR, you my guy, man. Why you gotta bring that up? Why you gotta bring up old stuff, bro? So KR was my doubles partner. This is, I think I first moved back from Florida back up here. He was my doubles partner. He goes 300, 300 first 2, shoots 816 or something. I shoot like 640. We end up finishing in second place. We both singles on the same pair. And winning singles going to shoot a 7-8. So, so he said I threw him in. I didn't do it on purpose though, bro. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it on purpose. Wasn't my fault. Yeah, you good days and bad days.
What's your 300 and 300 record?
I really don't know. I don't turn in a lot of my 300s and 800s. So I think I have 60 or so 300s in the book and maybe 40 to 50 800 somewhere in there. But I'll probably only turn in half of my award scores. I don't really look at that as a significance. If I have 150 or if I have 100, I don't really look at that as significance, because that was one game. If you shot one, you shot 100. So, to me, it's just about what you're going to do the next game. If I've already shot one, I can't break that record no more. So there's no reason for me to really unless the secretary of the league or the tournament comes down and fills it out for me and says sign it, I'm not signing, my award score sheets. It's just an award score.
When did your bowling journey begin?
When did my bowling journey begin?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say competitively, it started when I was about 14. I don't know if you ever heard of Dan Ottman. He used to be the PBA regional director for the Central Region, and he ran a scratch youth league that allowed people to practice for free. And it was the best youth bowlers in basically Southeast Michigan. A lot of PBA titleists, women and men, bowled in that. Carlton, Ken, Lisa Bishop, you name it, man. It was just a ton of talent that came out of that league. And that's when I really started to get the fire for wanting to be a good bowler because it was really, really competitive. So that really lit the fire. And then when I was 16, I moved up in the adult league. I like the money and I like to chase the money. So, I didn't want to bowl youth anymore. So that's when it really became real for me. And then ended up going to college at Saginaw Valley for a year. We won a collegiate title my first year as a freshman. So, I have a lot of talent. I wouldn't even say necessarily bowling as my first love. I mean, basketball is kind of my first love. But, I'm really talented in bowling. So, I don't want to waste, the God-given ability that I have. So, I do it for that reason. But, I still love the competition factor.
What happened to your basketball?
I've been coaching for the last 15 years. So right out of college, I tried out for the Great Lakes Storm. I tried out for Roanoke in the NBDL. I was last cut in D League, which is now the G League. Made the team in Grand Rapids, didn't like the offer. Made a team in Arizona, didn't like the offer. Made a team in Tampa, and I actually was going to play for that team. My father ended up having a heart attack and ended up moving back to Michigan. So, I've had numerous chances to play. My brother-in-law actually plays in China, James Johnson, and I still play in a lot of pro-ams. We won the Ann Arbor Pro-Am League this year, and I played in the Romulus Pro-Am last year. So I still actively play in pro-ams. I just, don't do it for money, and I coach whenever I can. So I coach high school or at the collegiate level.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah. I was a pretty good player, man. I averaged 15 points and 10 rebounds in college. I wasn't bad. I had a lot of I had a lot of talent, man. I'm a scorer. So, I got the perfect, they say I have the perfect frame, for basketball. I'm 6'7", 270. So, they say I have the perfect size for basketball. In my playing days, I was about 235. Now I put on a little bit of more bulk. And I'm like 270 now. But if I was playing, I'd be somewhere around 250.
You a big dude.
Yeah. Most people think I'm a football player or they mistake me for a basketball player. But over this whole COVID thing, I really hit the gym. So I put a gym in my basement. And I really been working at it. And I put on 25 pounds of muscle. So that's probably why I throw it okay left-handed, because I'm a lot stronger now than I used to be. So, I tried it before. I bowled left-handed for 1 year. I averaged 214, but I was just kind of playing around with it, not really serious with it. But now I'm, that I'm serious. I think the extra weight that I have, helps me to have a little bit more control.
Hey, look, so DP,
not this year, but that is something that I plan to do. It's going to take a while, but probably maybe the start of 2022. You know, it's kind of where I look at. I got to see how well I'm doing in some local events that are a little tougher. So I'll bowl some Brian Regan events. I'll bowl some local sport tournaments, and I'll just kind of gauge how well I'm doing there. And if I'm really progressing and doing better, I will bowl some regionals left-handed. You know, it's an advantage to be left-handed out there sometimes. So if you had a shot, you ain't got to make a lot of adjustments. Now, when they shut you out there, ain't nothing you can do. So, you know, it's either really good for you or really bad. It's usually nothing in the middle for left-handers. They either got it or they got nothing. So, but when they do have it, it looks really damn good.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Kenny Rogers said, you can get this work.
Whatever. Come over to the place. I drive out. I drive from there. You ain't got to worry about it. I got you. And I pay for the game. I know I'm going to get it back when we gamble.
Are you bowling
left-handed? I'm bowling left-handed. You talking about am I bowling right-handed? I can use two hands underhanded and beat KR.
Ooh. So we
can go live, bro. We can go live. I would prefer to go live because I want the whole world to see this. And ask him now. When a couple of times ago when we gambled, he wanted to get a pair with me. He ain't gonna tell you what he did, man. I went 300 on him live, back to back. He ain't gonna tell you about that though.
Oh man.
So I'm waiting on KR. Ain't nobody scared of him. Nobody.
Hey, what is your highest average right?
My highest sanction average right-handed is 253. For 90 for a full season, I was at 248. Wow. And most last year when I won captain, I think I was at 245. I think I ended with 245 last year. So, you know, I've been over 240 for the last 5 or 6 seasons consecutive. And usually in multiple houses. 800. Just about everyone I've been in league, I'm sure I have. I'm not sure tournament wise how many I have. I couldn't really tell you. I don't really know.
See, Hey, Ken, short. I don't care if it's opinion or what. Man. Yeah. Hey, when did you get your first success on the lane?
As an adult, well, my first taste of success came as a youth. I made the all-city team my last year as a youth, first team. So that was like my first taste of success. But my really first taste of success was the first PBA tournament I cashed in. So I bowled the rabbit squad. I got talked into bowling. I don't know if you guys know Amos Mathis Booby, but I got talked into bowling the rabbit squad. There was 100+ bowlers and they only gave out 2 spots.
And what the hell is a
rabbit squad. So he's like, man, just go out and bowl, bro. You know, it's $20. Just go out and bowl. So I'm like, all right, man, I'll go out and bowl. So I go out and bowl and I win it. So, you know, I wasn't expecting to win it. I went out and I won it. And I'm only 17 at the time. So by the time the tournament came around, I was 18. And I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a long time ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. And so I bowl the first squad. I'm on A squad and I'm bowling and I got Walter Ray over here. I got David Ozzie over here. I got Jason Couch, you know, a couple pairs down. Like I got all the big names bowling around me and I'm watching everybody and I'm not even paying attention to what the hell I'm doing. So, you know, by the end of the first block, which was 6 games, I was third from the bottom. I came back that day. I talked to my dad after that and I came back that night and I said, you know what? I'm not watching anybody else. I'm just going to focus on my game and do what I do. And I came back that next squad and I led the squad and ended up jumping from third from the bottom to the top 24. Wow. So, you know, here I am sitting in the top 24 going into the final round, which is the next day. And, you know, I get a whole night to sleep on it. So, you know, I'm anxious and I got a lot of anxiety. You know, there's a lot of pressure. And I had a big crowd behind me. So I come in the next day and I start off and I shoot 160. And I come back again and I shoot 180. So now not only have I dropped out the top 24, I've dropped out the cash. And I came roaring back. I went 240, 260, 230. And I look up and I'm back in the top 24 again. So I know what I need to get in. And I just got nervous as shit, man. I started off with the first three and the whole crowd is cheering, next ball right in the gutter. And I ended up I ended up finishing with 170, and I ended up finishing the 40th place. They paid 44. So, you know, I'm 18. Here I am, 18 years old, man, cashing my first national tournament. Got the whole crowd behind me signing autographs. You know what I'm saying? I got sponsors coming up to me, wanting to put me out on tour full time. And then I got my check. And then so when I looked at the check, I looked back up at the tournament director, and I said, "Where's the rest of it?" And he said, "That's what you get." So it was like $700. It was like $750, and you know, I added all the money up, and I'm like, "Man, that's not enough money to be out here doing this, man." You know, that was really hard, and that was really a struggle, and I couldn't imagine going through that every week, you know, to make that amount of money. Yeah, first place is good. You make a show that's good, but you know, to bowl that well and to not really see it rewarded in your pay just was really kind of discouraging to me. So, you know, I never really had aspirations of bowling full time after that. My dream after that was to get through school, you know what I'm saying? Get a college degree and get me a job and then use bowling on the side, you know. And back then you can make so much money bowling in leagues in the area. I mean, that little bit of money was nothing, man. You can make that, you know, on a damn mystery game, you know, in some of our leagues, man. So, you know, I'm like, that ain't worth it.
Hey, what did you go to school
for? Secondary education. I actually ended up getting a degree in business, but I ended up, I've been working in schools for the last 16 years. So, you know, I ended up going into education. I was a special ed teacher for quite some time. I was a teacher assistant when I was running 3 shops, and now I'm in administration. I'm a behavior specialist. So I oversee all of the teachers and behavior in the classroom and deal with the kids. I deal with suspensions, parents, you know, academic progress. It's quite a bit that I, you know, have to be accountable for at school. But I enjoy what I do. I enjoy working with kids. I enjoy coaching kids. You know, I coached at U of M for 3 years as well, bowling, while I was coaching basketball. So that was a really good experience coaching the University of Michigan bowling team.
Okay.
Yeah, I really enjoy working with kids and really building them up, especially our young men. You know, they need guidance and they don't see a lot of positive role models. So, you know, even though the pay isn't great, you know, I'm really rewarded at the end of the day.
And see, I do coaching as well, but I don't coach for the money.
Right. It's not enough. They can't pay you enough, first of all. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole thing. If you're doing it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reason. So, you know, I do it to see the kids grow. I want to see the kids grow. I want to see them, you know, in the right path in life, in the right direction. So
there you go. Hey, DP, what was you witnessed on the lane?
Oh man, I've seen a lot of falls. I've seen a lot of falls, and I remember one fall where somebody didn't take their shoe cover off, and they tried to catch themselves as they were going to the line, and they stepped over the foul line, and it would look like they was ice skating 3/4 of the way down the lane, and did the pirouette spin and backwards fall right on the lane. That was probably the funniest thing I've ever seen in a bowling center.
Wow. Hey, Tyrone said, what made you in the shop?
I worked in a shop since I was 21. So I had a lot of shop experience, and it's kind of funny because I really wasn't looking to open a shop. So when I moved back here from Florida to Michigan, the plan was to stay here until my father got back healthy and then to move back out. So I actually went back down there, got my old job back, and was looking to get a place. And I was approached by the guy that I work for about taking over the shop. And, you know, really hadn't crossed my mind. We sat down, had a conversation about, you know, figures and numbers and how much he thinks I can make there and the time schedule. And, you know, at that point in my life, I was kind of ready to give up my evenings and work. And I said, you know what, I'll do this and give it a try. We'll do it for a year and see how it works. Well, that was a decade ago. So, you know, I don't think there was anything that really made me want to open a shop. I think it was just the right opportunity at the right time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And the right point at the right point in my life, because it really wasn't something I was interested in at all, running the shop. All I really wanted to do is just drill my own equipment. You know, so that was really the main thing, the main reason why I worked in the shop. I just wanted to drill my own equipment and, you know, get paid a little bit while doing it. But that was really the only reason. I never really looked at owning the shop.
Okay. Hey, DP said, hey, what's your biggest bowling?
Don't talk to me when I'm striking. That's my biggest thing. If you ain't talk to me all day and you see me on a 7-8 bagger, stay where you at, bro. Just stay where you at. I don't want to talk to you. I'm concentrating on trying to get this money. You know, we can talk all day afterwards, as long as you want afterwards. But don't come over to me, man. You striking, bro. Dude, I see you over there striking. Can't nobody stop you, dog. You know, I don't want to hear all that. I'm quiet. Let me stay on my lane and do my thing and be in my zone.
Hey, is it Keeper G?
Keith, yeah. What up, Keith?
He said, do you think he's starting back up the season?
I hope so. Now, will they finish? That's another story. I think we'll get to the point to where we'll start. You know, in other states, they've already started summer leagues. They already got plans for fall leagues. I think if they're going to send kids back to school, they're going to allow bowling alleys to open up. So if bowling alleys are open, we're going to start leagues. The problem is, are we going to be able to finish them? That's the thing I'm looking at. You know, if they shut down the whole country again, then, you know, I think we'll be in trouble with finishing the league. So I'm hoping that we have a full season. I'm hoping that we had no hiccups, but I am leery of that.
Hey, Tyrone asks, how difficult is it to own your own shop?
It is very difficult. You know, I have to have somebody in the shop in the mornings a few days a week. So it's difficult to make sure that you have proper staff there. You know, Ken works during the day too, so I can't use him. Ronnie sometimes is not available, you know, work during the day, so it's a little difficult. And then as soon as you get off work, you run into the shop and you got to make sure everybody's taken care of before leagues start. So it's very difficult to own multiple shops and still be productive and make sure everybody gets what they want and need, you know, because I deal with kids all day, so those are my customers. So I have to listen to them all day. And then as soon as I leave there, I got to go to the bowling world, and those are my customers, so I have to listen to them and meet their needs too as well. So, you know, you don't get a lot of time to yourself. So, and then I come home, I got 3 kids and a wife. So, you know, I'm always the person that has to help everybody out and listen to what everybody wants and try to meet their needs. So it's very difficult.
You have no self-time.
I don't. During the season, I mean, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm not coming back home till 11:30 at night, and I do it all again every day, 5 days a week. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I try to get in the shop for the league. So even if I'm bowling somewhere, I try to make sure I'm back for the league. So yeah, I really don't have a lot of downtime to myself.
Wow. John Cody. Who's your favorite bowler? Post-resin or pre-resin?
Pre-resin, I would have to say Mark Roth was my favorite bowler of all time, pre-resin. What he did with plastic was nothing like we've ever seen before. And that's why he cashed in all of those tournaments. He holds the records for most consecutive cashes. And he won all of those events because he did something that nobody else could do, you know, back in his day. And I really have a lot of respect for that. You know what I'm saying? The young people that have never seen him bowl in his prime, it was really something to witness what he could do with a plastic ball compared to everybody else. I mean, you looked at his thumb, you could tell he was doing magic with that ball because his thumb was just torn the hell up. You know what I'm saying? Post-resin, I would say my favorite bowler would be Pete Weber. And he is a friend of mine. Got a funny story about Petey in match play. So I catch him in St. Louis. We bowled a super regional. I led the qualifying. We're bowling first match. And I get up in the 10th frame and I need to mark to beat him. So I get up in the 10th frame, switching 7-10. So he's filling out he's filling out the sheet. I can see him filling out the sheet with the 30 bonus pins, and he's just saying, I just pick up my ball. I never picked up the 710 before. I just pick up my ball and just fire it at the 10 pin, make it. Pencil snaps, bottle thrown, F this some BS. So yeah, that was the funniest thing. We've been cool ever since, man. But yeah, that was funny. So I'm 1-0 in match play against Pete Weber. Picked up the 710 to beat him in the 10th.
Not only did you beat him, you picked the 710.
Pick the 710 up to beat him in the 10th frame.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but Petey's my favorite bowler. From what he's done with urethane, with early resin, with new resin, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's done it through decades, man. Him and Norm Duke, you know what I'm saying? Like, Norm Duke back in the day used to throw a frozen rope with the urethane balls. He didn't hook it much at all. And now you see him, he can play, every angle with the resin. So, he's really adapted and adjusted his game, to the new game as well. And he still throws 16 pounds. So, I'd say Pete and Norm are my two favorite post-resin bowlers.
Oh, look, Alex Robinson skipped over his question. Where, Al? I missed. No, I'm in trouble. I'm gonna find it right now.
What up, big dog? Yeah, I can't see what you said, but what up, man?
Hey, if you on the right side of your screen, you can see live comments.
Okay, I don't see his, but what up?
No. Click on the right side of your screen. It should be like at the top. Right. Maybe I don't know.
I don't have it. No, I can't find it.
Hey, how long have you been with him?
I couldn't hear you.
How long have you been on staff with him?
I've been on staff with them this is going into my second year with them. So I was with Storm before them, and then they gave me a pretty good offer before Brunswick bought them out. So, now that Brunswick bought them out, now you got 7 different brands to throw from. It's like being a kid in a candy store trying to pick out, a bowling ball that fits you. They have so many options now, man. It's just, it's so great to have all that variety that you can throw in your bag, man. So it's awesome, man. Brunswick, you got to really give them some props on what they did, So it's awesome, man.
Oh, look, he was chiming in.
Yeah, you see KR chiming in. You got them beatings every week. You can tell him about it. Tell him about them beatings he took at Thunderbolt the last couple of years.
So that's what he was talking about. Hey, Alex, I was coming down to that. See, I just skipped it. Let's see. Gwendolyn said, what are some choices for young me?
Right now in the state of Michigan, if you're looking for a scholarship, you want to look at Cleary University is giving scholarships, Madonna University, which I graduated from. Concordia is another really good one that's giving out scholarships. Doug Spicer is the coach over here at Concordia. Siena Heights also gives out scholarships. I don't think they have a great program, but I know they got some scholarship money. So if you look at like the NAIA schools and some of the private institutions, they're giving out more scholarship dollars than the big D1s are right now, especially in like bowling. So for some reason, they won't allocate their money in these big schools that have a ton of money. They won't allocate it for bowling. They don't want to make it a varsity sport. But these smaller schools, they are making it a varsity sport and giving out money.
And look, Jody said NAIA school.
Yeah. Yep. NAIA. Yep. Which is like Division II. NAIA and some Division II schools, some smaller schools, and private schools. Private. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Frank Robinson said, what about your strike? Wasn't a strike vital at the sweeper?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, we were bowling a summer sweeper. And I think I'm in the 9th frame of the last qualifying game, and I needed to strike. I didn't have to strike to make the cut, but I needed to strike. And I threw a swisher. All the pins were down. I turned around, ran it out. And all I heard was, "Oh my God." And I looked back, I didn't see it. So I had to wait for the replay to come out to see what happened. So they show it every year on one of the bowling channels. They show it every year. It comes up in my timeline. The pin was down, and it looked like somebody actually yanked the pin and picked it up and stood it straight up. It was like voodoo, man. It was like people still look at it now and say that wasn't real. That you really didn't do that. That had to be staged, and it didn't happen. But it was like the pin was down. All pins were down, and a pin slid across the lane and like stood straight up. It was sliding across the lane and just went and slid and just stood straight up. It's unreal. Like a ghost just picked it up and stood it up on the lane.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So if you can catch it, I'll send it to you when if I can find it in my timeline, I'll send it to you. But it was very eerie, to see it on replay.
That is some scary stuff.
Yeah.
Kenny Saxon asks, who is the two-handed bowler?
Belmo, Simonson, Svensson. Let's see. I got to give my boy Jordan Horn some props, and Justin Knowles.
Justin Knowles.
Yeah. Justin Knowles helped me out in the shop for a little while. He worked with me at Whitmore Lanes for a little while. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Really down to earth, nice kid, and a damn good bowler.
DP said, "What needs to be done to get the money increased at the amateur level?"
Well, at the amateur level, back in our prime, every good bowler bowled the same tournament. So that's one way you can get more money into it. If you don't have everybody on the same floor, it's hard to build up a big prize fund. So, we had the super hoinkies and the high rollers. You had thousands of bowlers going out to bowl the sweepers. Each sweeper would be $10,000. The mega sweeper might be $25,000. The tournament paid $100,000.
Right.
When we bowled locally, the Michigan majors had 240 entries with a waiting list. The mid-states had 200 entries with a waiting list. And those tournaments have since folded. And now you have every center so desperate to bring bowlers in their bowling center, they're scheduling tournaments on top of each other. So when you schedule tournaments on top of each other, you take some from one area, some from another. Now, instead of getting 200 bowlers at one center, you get 40 here, you get 30 there, you get 50 here, you get 70 here, and you're splitting all the good bowlers up, which is also splitting all the money up. At the pro level, you just need to have good sponsorship. So at the pro level, I've always said they need to have a way to market better, and they need to make it simple for the average fan to understand. So if I'm not a bowler and I watch bowling, I want to be able to understand what's going on. So you watch bowling now, and let's say somebody's struggling. They go back and talk to a ball rep, they put a new ball in their hand, and now they're not struggling anymore. Well, I don't think that guy's got any talent. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have any talent. What I'm saying is, as a spectator who doesn't know anything about the game, I don't think that guy's good. I just think they just gave him a new ball and somebody told him what to do. So you want to keep it simple. Less bowling balls. Get everybody the same ball. You all throw the same ball. And now it's up to the bowler to be better than the next guy. And that's easy for the fans to relate to. In basketball, like I say, you see Steph Curry come down the court and shoot a 35-footer with a hand in his face. Okay, you go try that at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
See how close you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? You see LeBron James come and do a windmill down the court. Okay, let me go see you go do a windmill. You can't do that. So, in some sports, you want to see something that you can't do. And in bowling, everybody does it. In leagues, people are averaging 230, 240. So, when they see a guy shooting 210, 220 on TV, they think they're just as good as that guy. It's nothing new that they haven't seen. So we need to make it to where it's a sport to where the top guys look better than everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you can get some money into it. Yeah. You got to make it look like they better. Because when you play other sports, I want to see a guy go hit a baseball like Miguel Cabrera does or Mike Trout does. I want to see somebody hit that 100-mile-an-hour fastball like them guys do. You know, it's a skill that nobody else has, and that's why they make so much money. That's why Patrick Mahomes just got $450 million because he has
$103 million.
Yeah, right. With incentives, yeah, 503 with incentives. But that's why that guy gets paid that much because he can do something that nobody else in the world can duplicate. But at any given tournament, one bowler can be the best bowler compared. If we bowling on 35 feet, you know, Eugene McCune gonna kick your ass. You know what I'm saying? If we bowling on 47 feet and you in, Jason Belmonte is the best. You know what I'm saying? Every pattern, you have a different star and a different person that's gonna win. Whereas in other sports, you have top guys and they're the top guys all the time. I don't care who they're competing against.
That is true.
That is true.
Top five bowling balls, pre and post rep.
Blue Hammer, pre-resin. Black Turbo, pre-resin. Burgundy Hammer, pre-resin. UDOT, and TJ Sumo. Those rolled off the head real quick. Them was my favorite. I won several tournaments a couple years ago with an original Blue Hammer and Burgundy Hammer.
Wow.
And in competition and regionals, I cashed in every event, every short pattern event a couple years ago with a Black Turbo and a Blue Hammer. So they're still good balls today on short pattern. Post resin, I would have to go IQ Tour, Thunder Roll Pearl, Black Widow, original Black Widow.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what else. Original Thunder Roll was one of my favorite balls too as well. And let me see, number 5, what would I throw in there? Game Breaker. Original Game Breaker.
Mm-hmm.
So those would be my top 5 resin balls all time.
Trying to see if I can go along in Texas.
Man, go to Houston. See, they got a lot of action in Houston.
Well, I was supposed to go to Houston this weekend, but me coming from California, yeah, no.
I feel, yeah.
Ken Rogers, my guy, down for the same game. I had the front and then the back swing.
I didn't shoot 299. I had 300. And KR was on the front 11. And he chicken winged it. That ain't my fault. He chicken winged it. Left the 4 pin. I mean, what you can do? I was already sitting at the table comfortable. Best you could do was tie.
So you telling me
he chicken winged it. I wasn't praying on his downfall. We can split the money up. It's just money, ain't no big deal. I already had 300. You shoot 300, I'm gonna congratulate you. You know? So
let's see. Keep saying I was amazed before I met Lonnie to know that he was him that I. That's crazy.
Alex Robinson getting in.
Yeah. Who is Lonnie Jones?
Oh, Google me. Oh, YouTube it.
Hey, anybody
Terry, what up, Terry?
It's somebody.
What up, man? You all right? He's a big fella too. Terry Wilson, a big fella too. He's about my size. Man. He a little bit bigger than me, but he's about 6'6", 6'7". So you know, us big guys got to stick together, man. That's your lane. We the minority. We the minority in the bowling alley. We walk into the bowling alley. We the minority. Let me tell you, if I hear one more time, you should be playing basketball before I pick up a ball, man. We gonna go viral when that happens. I'm tired of hearing that. You should be playing basketball. Don't you see I got a bowling ball in my hand?
Hey, tell him Malott.
Wes Malott's a big guy. He's not quite my size. He's 6'5", but he's about 300. He might be 315 now. He's a big guy. But he throws it. Look, it comes off his hand so smooth. So at the bottom of his swing, man, to be that big. Now I catch it. So, I've always been a person. I'm very old school with my game, and that's why anytime I can throw urethane, I'm really good with urethane. And when they're really tight, I'm really good because I do catch it at the bottom. So I throw it like a man. I don't, say anything about it. I throw it like a man, and I don't have no regrets of doing that. I'm just not the guy that's gonna be soft at the bottom. That's just my game. I've tried to do it, and with my long arms, it's not pretty. So, I stick to what works for me. Finessing the ball works for everybody else. Good for them. It's just sometimes I wish we could go back in time and not have, the new advances, but it is what it is, and we are where we are. So you either adapt or you die.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And like Alex Robinson is good enough to be on a podcast. If you got a story, you could be on a podcast. I'm just saying. Hey, Jody, muscle chemistry and physics.
Absolutely. Your muscle memory, man. I mean, that's just basic sports. You know what I'm saying? If I go shoot 500 shots a day, I try to tell these young kids, like in basketball, if I go shoot 500 shots a day, I'm going to be deadly. If you ain't getting no shots up, you're not going to be consistent. You got to have that muscle memory. So, if you go into the bowling alley and you practicing every day the right thing, your swing is going to straighten up. You're going to have a really good swing, and you're going to have control over the ball. And that's all bowling is. Bowling is so unique as a sport because it's the only sport where you need zero talent to be good. All you need to do is go and learn how to repeat shots. You can repeat shots the wrong way. And as long as you do that wrong way the same time, you're gonna be good. So it's the only sport where you don't need any talent to be successful. All you need to do is go practice.
But when you practice, you're gonna become good, right?
Exactly. But you don't need talent. You don't need a certain amount of talent to be. You don't need to be a certain size. You don't need to be a certain sex. You don't need to be a certain age. You can be 11 years old and 105 pounds. You can be as good as somebody, a strong person in their prime, if you throw the ball well enough. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a game where sex matters anymore, where age matters anymore. You see these seniors out here kicking the young people's butt. You know what I'm saying? So you see some of these junior gold bowlers kicking everybody, all these adults around. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of these rare sports where sex, age, weight, height, none of that makes a difference, man. And the amount of talent that you have, none of that makes a difference. Just get a ball, learn how to bowl, and go practice.
Hey, Alex said most versatile bowlers you know in Detroit.
Oh, Andrew Anderson. I don't know if you guys know Dave Ewald, but Dave Ewald back in his prime was one of the best bowlers I've ever been around. He won the mini eliminator twice for 50,000. Like he's won 2 regionals, I believe, as an amateur, and he really didn't even bowl them much, but he was one of the most exceptional, most versatile bowlers that I grew up around. JR, let me see who else in our area. Justin Knowles is very versatile. Aaron Lawrence, Ronnie Sparks, of course. You know what I'm saying? Always got to put Ronnie up there. Stroker, Gerald Johnson. So those are some of the great. But it's so much talent. Like in Detroit, you can't even like narrow it down to like 4 or 5 guys. You got your top guys. You know what I'm saying? You got Andrew and Smallwood. Those guys are cream of the JR. Those guys are cream of the crop. And then Ronnie, of course, Mason Brantley. There's just there's so much talent in the Metro Detroit area. It's hard to even break down a couple of versatile bowlers. There's so many good versatile bowlers.
Terry Wilson said, why is he in this bowler's
Good question, man. You bring up some real good questions, Terry.
Watch out when LJ old son.
Yeah, I am the king of finding old balls, brand new, and drilling them up. So if there's an old ball out there that I know was good, I actually just drilled up a big blue pearl not too long ago, an original high, a Columbia high. Yeah. So like I find these balls and people don't know what they're used for or what they're for, and I pull them out when I need them, and they're like they're the best on certain conditions, man, because they don't flare that much and they give you exactly what you need. But I'm the king of finding them old balls, them old gems, and bringing them to life.
Hey, look, John said the same thing. My first 800. This guy house record on.
That's true. We did. He shot his first 800. So JC is a college bowler now, and he was up and coming. And I broke the house record at Whitmore with the pitch black, with the urethane ball on house. So broke the house record there with urethane.
Oh, hold on. He said, how should I urethane?
Well, the Black Widow urethane actually hooks a lot. So that's one of the biggest hooking urethane balls there are. So it's not going to roll like you think it will. It's actually going to hook quite a bit, and it's going to hook early. So you really want to keep your speed on it and, keep your angle straighter because it's going to trick you because it's going to hook so early to start. And then sometimes it'll be a little lazy down lane. And when you get it to the dry, it'll be a little too strong. So throwing urethane is unique. Everybody can't throw it. There's some people that can bowl with resin that just cannot throw urethane at all, man. And it's just amazing to me that some people can't throw the older technology. But that's the game now. But urethane is much different than resin. Resin is supposed to go longer and snap more, and urethane hooks a little earlier and gives you a lot more arc and control.
Alex, my question is for him. Which is better? ACM or him? Since you know his ball drill.
I think on the heavier oil patterns, asymmetrical for sure. He loves the asymmetrical stuff on the heavier oil patterns because it's slower for him. Him being on the left side, there's nobody to break it down, so he needs the ball to slow down for him. So yeah, definitely asymmetrical. When he bowls on the drier stuff, the symmetrical stuff works better for him. So it really depends on the floor that he's on. But when he uses the right ball, he matches up. He strikes for days. So it's all about matching up what you need. I'm not a big fan of asymmetrical balls myself because I have such a high rev rate. So I stay away from a lot of the asymmetrical balls. But what I do is I find really slow symmetrical balls. So I just drilled up a Resurgence left-handed, and that's like a asymmetrical ball, even though it's symmetrical because it's so slow and rolling in the mid lane. So, the asymmetrical balls for me tend to burn up. I have a hard time throwing them because I got so much in the front part of the lane that I can't even get them through the fronts to actually see what the ball does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you whack the ball in.
Right. So, it just depends. It really depends on what floor you're on when you use. The only time I use asymmetrical balls when I bowl regionals was on Badger. That's the only time I really use asymmetrical balls. Other than that, it was a symmetrical ball with surface, and that worked better for me because I have a heavy hand. Other people that don't have a heavy as a hand, they like to throw the asymmetrical stuff because it slows down for them.
Yeah. Okay. Brian Odom
said, what is
the one that is the Paragon was my favorite tournament to bowl, and the Memorial Classic is probably my other favorite tournament to bowl. I don't know if you know about the Paragon, but the Paragon, we'd have 300 to 400 entries. They'd only take the top 32. I think they extended it to 48 their last year, but we had like 400 entries. And it paid 25 grand. It was on modified US Open. So you're bowling with the top bowlers in the world on the toughest floor you could bowl on in the world. It take even to make the cut, maybe a few under, maybe a few over every single year. The shot was always different, but the scores never changed. It was the most demanding condition that we bowl on. The Memorial Classic is another one of my favorite events, and they get about 400 entries. They take the top 60. They take the top 64 to match play, and they bowl on a modified middle of the road, and it pays like 10 grand first place. And you get a lot of national tour guys there, and a lot of the top regional guys and amateur guys there as well. So that's my second favorite tournament bowl.
Okay. Hey, how do you feel about people using urethane?
On what conditions?
House.
You talking to the wrong person for that one, because I'll throw it in a minute if it benefits me. You know what I'm saying? But with people that don't know what they're doing but see, the difference is you got people that don't know where it's going. So when I throw urethane, I'm in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in the driest part of the lane. I'm not even touching the oil. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. And it benefits people because people have this misconception that urethane changes the lane, and it does if you're playing the wrong part of the lane. But if you're using it in a part of the lane where there's no oil, it's not changing anything. It's actually holding the pattern up longer. You know, I've never seen anybody throw urethane and go from playing 5 to go to playing 25 in 2 games. So, you know, I actually ran a urethane tournament last year, and we bowled on house. And to everybody's surprise, you had to average almost 245 to make the cut with urethane balls. Everybody threw urethane. Justin Knowles had 2 300s at 837, and there were 4 300s total in a 4-game block.
Wow.
And 3 800s. So, you know, to everybody's surprise, urethane is not old technology. It's just everybody has to throw it in order for it to work. So if you got one person throwing urethane, one person throwing dull asymmetrical, another person throwing shiny pearl, well, guess what's going to happen to that pattern? I mean, it's going to break down horribly. But if you got one person throwing a weak ball to the right, one person in the middle with something shiny, and one person a little deeper throwing a little stronger ball, you're going to break it down just right for everybody. So, you know, everybody kind of has to work together in team bowling. You do. But I don't have to worry about that no more because I'm on the left side. So ain't nobody over there. I throw whatever I want. Ain't nobody going to say nothing.
Hey, keep saying, any bowlers you see doing big things?
There's a lot. I really don't keep up with the youth bowling scene, but one of the guys I really like is Marcus McLean. You know who Marcus McLean is? He's on Radical staff. Look him up. He just won Regan's event last month. And he is a really, really good young bowler. He might be 19, 20 years old now. But he is one of the best talents in the country right now. And he is going to be really successful. So if you haven't heard his name now, you will be hearing it probably soon. He'll be out of school in a year or two. And you will be hearing his name because he is really that good. He is really a talented bowler. Marcus McLean.
Marcus McLean.
Yep. Marcus McLean. Yep.
Alex asks, best team
man, my favorite team I've ever had was our all-star team I put together several years ago. It was me, George Goldhagen, Alex, Ronnie Sparks, Terry Haynes, Mike Norris, and Ken Rogers. So that was my favorite team to bowl on ever. We had a lot of fun that year. We ended up winning the league, and that was some really good times there. We struggled to get along at first, but then, you know, we built that team chemistry and everybody came together, man, and it was a lot of fun.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is there anything I haven't even asked you. Your childhood growing up, how tough was it?
It's very tough. And Alex and I, you know, we were really good friends. And, you know, for me, just growing up in the city, just seeing all the violence, and, you know, I walked everywhere. So, you know, I was carrying a double bag on each arm to walk to the bowling alley. You know what I'm saying? And some of the things that we had to go through, I don't even want to talk about them on Alex knows, but I don't want to talk about them, you know, online. But it's very different than growing up in a affluent neighborhood and not having those worries. You know, I'm very appreciative of being able to get out and survive, and all my friends that have gotten out and survived. Everybody hasn't. So, you know, it really humbles you to be where you're at now in life, looking back at your childhood and not knowing, you know, if you're going to live tomorrow, you know, not knowing if you're going to be taken out by a gunshot. You know, I've had a firebomb thrown at our house. You know what I'm saying? We've been shot at, and I had a gun pointed to my head. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is stuff that I don't think anybody in the city hasn't gone through it. Not one person that I don't know that lived in the city hasn't gone through that. You know what I'm saying? So this is stuff that goes on all the time. And you know, some of us make it out, some of us don't. But you know, like I said, I'm just really appreciative to be where I am in life. But you know, I was somebody that wanted something better. So you know, like I said, I walked everywhere I went. I didn't have a ride, I didn't have a car, and I would go walk and do everything I needed to do. Man, I used to bowl in that youth league I was telling you about. I took my lunch money and instead of eating lunch, bummed a ride to the bowling alley and paid my dues with my lunch money. So, you know, and walked to school instead of catching the bus. So I walked 4 miles to school instead of catching the bus. And, you know, that's the sacrifices I made, you know, to get where I'm at. You know, so if you want to make it, you can. But, you know, you got to be dedicated and motivated to do it.
Have you talk to your kids
Repeat that.
How have you ever your kids about your childhood?
Oh, all the time, man. I got 3 nephews. 2 of them play basketball. I got 3 daughters. And I talk to them all the time about my challenges. But the thing is, they didn't have to grow up like that. So, you know, they see life totally different than I do. You know, so when I'm trying to push them to be their best, they don't kind of understand why I'm pushing them so hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, because I always go back to my upbringing, and you had to push yourself that hard to get ahead if that's what you wanted in life. You know what I'm saying? You know, they don't necessarily have to. They live in a good neighborhood. They go to good schools. You know, my oldest one is at the University of Michigan, and the other 2 at a really good high school. So, you know, they have everything they need. You know what I'm saying? So their attitude is a little different than mine was, where I was somebody that, you know, wouldn't take no for an answer and would go at everything 100%. You know, sometimes they just kind of more laid back, and I have to accept that because they're not me.
Hey, Alex said Bowling.
Yep, Bowlerama. That all that stuff we talked about with Detroit, that's what we're gonna leave it at. Bowlerama.
Wow.
That's what we're gonna leave it at. Yep, that was our house. That was our local bowling alley that everybody was in, and boy, we could talk all night about stories, you know, that happened in Bowlerama.
Hey, DP say
we drill winners, man. You know our slogan, DP. We drill winners.
That's the slogan.
That's the slogan. We drill winners, man. That's my hashtag, man. We drill winners. So you know, that's what we do, man.
That's what's up there.
You want a winner? You come to our shop. You come to High IQ. You come to Competitive Advantage. We're gonna drill you a winner. We got Ronnie Sparks there. We got KR there. You know what I'm saying? We gonna drill you a winner.
No wonder kid.
Yeah, we gonna get you to the table. That's our number one goal. My number one goal is not to make me better. My number one goal is to make you better. I want to get you to the table. That makes me happy. When you tell me you've been to the window and you do well, that's my motivation right there.
Hey, look, Joe, we drill winners. Bowling hashtag.
And I got that hashtag for somebody else, and somebody said, man, you take these guys who ain't really good, man, and they be winning. I said, you know what? So I said, that sounds real good. We drill winners. I like that. So that kind of stuck with me. You know, you got some people that kind of, you know, sit there and watch and steal your little hashtag and stuff. They be stealing it and changing it up, but you know, it is what it is. You know, some other people that have some good hashtags. You got the lab. You know what I'm saying? You got next level. So, you know, everybody's got their own little hashtag. You know, I respect that. Yeah, that's our little motto. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Hey, anything we haven't touched? You want to
touch? I think we covered just about everything. Like I said, I just think bowling can be so much better that we can bring it back. You know what I'm saying? I think if USBC you know, stepped in and kind of made it more universal with the rules across the board, made it universal with lane conditions. You know, they're trying to do some regulations with bowling balls. I know Bo Goldgren is really, you know, helping out with that. But, you know, I don't think bowling is dead, but I think we need some new life. You know what I'm saying? And we all need to work together. That's one thing we need to do. Every bowling center needs to talk to other bowling centers. Every proprietor needs to talk to another proprietor. Every tournament director needs to talk to other tournament directors. Every shop needs to talk to each other, and respect each other. And because we're our own little niche, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to see any more athletes lost, and I don't want to see any more bowlers lost. And we've seen a lot of people just give up on the game, for reasons kind of out of our control. You know what I'm saying? But I understand their frustration, and I just really want to get everybody back. I really miss the olden days of bowling. I miss having everybody in the same center competing to be the best. And it was one of the greatest things to ever witness and be a part of. And, I know people say, well, you don't want to go back to the olden days, but those were just the glory days, man.
Right.
Those were. You look at the prize funds in the PBA back then, they were bowling for 100,000, 150,000 back in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, think about that, 30 some years ago, they were bowling for 150,000 first place.
That's a lot of money.
Right. So, yeah, I think that's kind of it. I think I want to leave it right there. But, yeah, I want to see our sport grow again, man.
There you go. Hey, well, look, man. I appreciate you coming. And
appreciate you, man.
Like I said, I look forward to face to face one day when I.
For sure, man. Anytime, man. Just drop me a message. I'm always available.
Yes, sir. And if y'all vote, Kenny said he was bringing Blake. And Alex won part of that.
Bet it. I want all the action. I want all the smoke. Bet it. I don't run from nobody.
Hey, make sure, like I said, if you have to, make sure you go live.
I will definitely make sure we go live. For sure. That's what I want. I want everybody to see this.
I appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, man. It's been great talking to you.
Absolutely, man.
Yep, you as well.
Yes, sir.
Later.
Peace. Hey, that's Lonnie Jones. Hey, like I said, Kenny, Alex, man, hey, I hope y'all ready. Because hey, I seen the dude throw the left. I seen LJ throw a left hand, and it's not bad. It's not bad. So I just want you guys to make sure that y'all ready for what y'all about to step into. And I'm just, hey, please go live because I want to watch it. I want to see who can hold their food down and who gonna throw up. But no, man, hey, that was a great show, man. Never met Lonnie, but I look forward to meeting him. So, Oh.
I got a strike while the iron is hot. One of one, don't follow flocks. Man, I got this on lock. Team Harvey, team hustle, team can't be stopped. Just cop 900 glory, ever fresh out the shop. Let's go bowling. I'm an expert on the lane. Yeah, smooth approach, about to roll a perfect game. And well connected with the sport's biggest names. We can't talk unless an X on the frame. I'm here asking the questions, clear the air and confusion. Fresh, humble, and arrogant with the logo infusion. Red cut for the right vibe. I got the answers. You going live with Bowtie.
Man, that's right, man. Hey, guys, please be safe. Take care of yourself first. That's all I can really tell you. We have to take care of us personally before we can do anything else, man. I appreciate Lonnie Jones coming through. He had a great story. Like I said, never met him, but a lot of people was kicking his name towards this way. So, hey, I made it happen and made him come on. Tomorrow's guest, I got Mr. Sibo himself coming on, 5 p.m. My time, 5 p.m. Cali time. So I got Carlton coming on. Mr. Chambers, you on the clock. But hey, anybody, I appreciate you guys coming through. I appreciate you guys' support. Take care of yourself. Like I always say, put the man above first before anything else because he's the reason why we wake up every morning. So that's all. Love you guys, man. Bowtie out. Peace.